70% of you are watching this on a mobile phone, but have you ever considered how much that phone knows about you?
An app could access anything. It could turn on the audio to listen into your conversations, even if you're not using the phone. It could turn on the front or back camera to take video or pictures, and it's with you all the time, so it's really the perfect spy tool.
Data is the new oil. It's the new gold. It's something that companies use and increasingly want to have because it helps marketers figure out how to get you to buy things that you may or may not actually want.
There is a power asymmetry. These companies have so much data about individuals, but individuals don't really know what's going on. Every click, every search that we do, every online interaction is recorded. And not just recorded by the company that you interacted with. The creepiest part of this is that it's being recorded by dozens, hundreds, perhaps even thousands of so-called third parties online.
There is no comprehensive federal privacy or data security legislation.
Companies run rampant in this space, and as they've shown time and time again, they cannot be trusted.
Yeah, be careful of free things. There's always a catch or a hook.
Most of this stuff probably isn't surprising you that much. Nowadays it's kind of common knowledge that everything about our lives is common knowledge, but isn't that the craziest part of all, how quickly we've come to accept the complete destruction of our privacy? 15 years ago, if somebody had asked to put a microphone in your house that recorded everything you said, you'd have thought they were mad, but now you think it's completely normal. Isn't that right, Siri?
You're not wrong there, Robbo.
And if someone had given us a device that tracked everything we did and everywhere we went, we'd have wanted to get rid of it as quickly as possible, but nowadays we can't bear to be apart from it.
Ah, damn it.
What happened?
I dropped my phone in the toilet.
I think we're less worried about our privacy these days because we share so much voluntarily on social media, and also because we feel like it's impossible to keep track of who is getting the information about us. A study found that it would take 76 days for you to read all the terms and conditions that you've accepted just for the services that you use on a daily basis. The iTunes privacy policy alone is as long word for word as the Tempest. We want to use these services, we don't want to pay for them, we can't be bothered to read pages and pages of boring fine print, so we just click accept without ever really knowing what it is that we're actually accepting. Nowadays, companies don't even feel the need to hide how much information they've got about us. At the end of every month, Google emails me a breakdown of everywhere I've been that month. I didn't ask for that service, and I'm sure that I could turn it off, but would turning it off mean that Google then doesn't still know where I've been on every single journey? I very much doubt it. And when I receive an email, Google offers me 3 suggested responses, but how can it do that without having read the email first? That seems a bit off to me. Like, aren't emails meant to be the modern version of letters? So private between the person who's written it and the person who's receiving it. That's a bit like your postman handing you your post in the morning and saying, well, I've taken the liberty of reading these and I've drafted some possible responses, just let me know which one you want me to send. You wouldn't be okay with that, but that's exactly what Google are doing. So I'm going to send myself 5 emails from a non-Gmail account just to try and work out how much attention Google is actually paying to my emails. Okay, so the first one, I'm just going to invite myself to a party because I've got no real friends. So yeah, Google obviously worked out pretty easily what that was all about. Next one, a little bit tougher. I'm going to offer myself a job. And yeah, again, Google has absolutely nailed that. Now the third one, I'm going to offer myself a proposal in marriage because I figured it'd be quite funny if somebody would actually just use a Google auto response to say yes or no to a marriage proposal. But Google has failed on this one, so it hasn't offered me any suggested responses. So either Google has decided that, you know, if someone's offering you their hand in marriage, that you should probably go to the effort of actually typing them out a response, or yeah, that isn't something that it often has to deal with, so it wasn't able to generate any kind of auto responses there. This one, pretty heavy stuff, but yeah, quite amusingly, Google is all right with that. So should I keep it? Yes, please, go for it. No, I don't think so. Thanks for your help there, Google. Oh, that's so weird. Just while I was talking, my phone has lit up and obviously it was listening. And when I mentioned Google, I don't know if it's focusing. Yeah, that's the weird thing, isn't it? Like these microphones, people think, oh, they're just voice activated, so it's only listening when I tell it to, but how does it know to listen? Like, it can only know that you've said "Hey Siri" if it's listening all the time in case you say "Hey Siri." Creepy. Yes, a final one. I thought I would ask myself via email if I know that Google is reading my emails. And yeah, as you can see, Google is basically able to deal with that query as well. So 4 out of 5 for Google there, which I guess kind of goes to show that, yeah, it's pretty adept at reading emails and offering these suggested responses. Again, it's not that Google are doing this particularly secretively. Their privacy policy says, we also collect the content you create, upload, or receive from others when using our services. This includes things like email you write and receive, photos and videos you save, docs and spreadsheets you create, and comments you make on YouTube videos. But that is a bit worrying for me. Like, I use Google Drive for my tax return and other kind of documents that I, in my head, feel are secure and private. But Google are basically telling me quite openly that they're not. I'm sure it's not just Google. I'm sure all of these email providers and online services are doing the same kind of thing. The main response I've had when talking about this kind of stuff to people is that they're not really that bothered about their privacy because they feel like they've got nothing to hide. And I get that. Unless you're doing something that you shouldn't, then I suppose you feel like there's nothing that needs to be kept particularly secret. But I don't know, it still feels a bit strange to me that we're just accepting that we're not allowed to have any privacy. And also, there have already been plenty of examples where our lack of privacy has caused problems.
I kind of see all of this data collection analogous to pollution. Back in the 60s, we didn't know what the effects of pollution were going to be. And the environmental movement was just getting started. And people were starting to recognize what were some of the ways in the future that all of the ways that we were polluting our atmosphere and our environment could come back to bite us. I think we're in that moment now for privacy. We're very gradually figuring out what are the ways in which this data can be misused, how it can fall into the hands of adversarial actors, how it can be used to target and manipulate and persuade people.
The Russian government interfered in our election in sweeping and systematic fashion.
And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
And even on a smaller, more personal scale, having no privacy does make you more vulnerable to things.
Instant loan apps. If you need money, you just need to download an app on your phone, accept the terms and conditions, and voila, you've got money on your account. But there's a catch. Once you agree to their terms and conditions, and because you haven't read the fine lines, you allow these companies to data mine your phone, download your contact details, and then once you default your loan, even for 1 day, they're gonna start sending messages and SMS like this one. So now all of your contacts know that you're broke, that you cannot pay a debt, and that you're gonna face legal action. So imagine this goes out to everyone you know. So it goes to your boss, to your family, to your friends, to your colleagues. Now everybody knows that I'm broke, that I'm facing legal problems and whatever. I wanna talk to everyone out there that, just like me a couple of years ago, in 2020 is still saying, I've got nothing to hide. Do you want a world where companies can data mine your phone, extract your data, contact all your details? Do you want a world, for instance, where health insurance companies will apply a higher premium because you haven't done enough steps, or because you haven't logged in your workouts, or because you gained 4% body fat?
I guess you could say that it's not about having something to hide, it's about being able to hide from something. I'm not really sure what the conclusion is of this video. The debate about whether the benefits we get from everything we use online justifies the erosion of our privacy is a massive one, and ultimately it just comes down to a personal choice. And I'm not even saying that I'm going to stop using my phone and using the internet because I want my privacy back. There are little things you can do to maybe try and make yourself a little bit more secure or get some level of privacy back online, but they are kind of drops in the ocean, really. You're sort of swimming against the tide. Don't know how many ocean metaphors I want to cram in there that don't really make sense. I guess, yeah, just lately I've become more and more aware of how much these different apps and online services seem to be overstepping the mark as far as I'm concerned in terms of privacy. So I just wanted to kind of highlight a bit of that in case that's of any interest or use. Probably not, but anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the future.